Hey, welcome back to Florida's Fourth Estate, everyone. You know, it's the time of year where people are traveling and going over the river and through the woods to get to grandma's house. Well, what if I told you you had to go to grandma's house with complete strangers, a dozen of them? Matt, would you do it?
Grandma's not going to be happy at all about that when you bring all these complete strangers over. So it's a crazy story. It's kind of like a planes, trains, and automobiles story that happened in Florida. This flight got canceled. And so all of these strangers had to figure out a way to get from Orlando up to Tennessee. And the only way to do it was to rent this huge bus and just kind of pool money together. And the person at the center of all this, documenting it, is a famous TikToker. She's a doctor and she's on TikTok. Elena Story is a TikToker. She's big on social media, and this story has just gone crazy. So first off, Elena, thank you so much for joining us for Florida's Fourth Estate.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. So, okay, take us through how this all started. You're at the ticket counter. When did you find out that your flight was canceled? And just take us through the whole story.
So it's Sunday night. We're about to see, our flight gets delayed once, and then we're thinking we're about to board the plane. And so people are literally lining up about to get on the plane, and we find out our flight is canceled. And so everyone's kind of just oh my gosh, what are we about to do now? And so all the potential passengers on the plane, we go downstairs to the frontier desk to figure out what are our options. There weren't really any at the time. And Amy, who was on the van, she kind of yelled out to everyone to let us know, they're not doing anything for us. We can get a van if you want. And my mom and Carlos, the driver, and his wife had kind of been talking about doing it. So they all just kind of merged together. And you heard one person talking about it and just want to join in. So yeah, it's kind of a joint effort. And then our group just sort of morphed. Yeah.
When did it become apparent to you guys that this was going to be a real thing? There's a moment where you have to make a decision. You're kind of on the fence. You're here are all these people I don't know, but I need to get home.
Yeah. It happened very, very quickly. So from the time that Amy yelled out that we didn't really have any options to the time of us getting on the van, filming the video and everything, that may have been max 20, 25 minutes. So I was kind of backseat of it all. I let my mom go handle all of it. And so all of a sudden I see my mom walking the other direction with all these strangers. And she's like, Elena, let's go. We're headed home. We're taking a van. And I'm like, okay. She's like, with everybody. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? So we go downstairs. They rent it. And this whole time, I actually met up with Michaela in the bathroom, the one who's going to UT. And I was like, girl, this is crazy. This is nuts. We don't know each other. And she sort of said the same sentiment. So we got in the van and left. It happened very, very quickly.
And in the middle,
you were with your mom, though,
and my godmother. Yeah, I was with the three of us.
So it wasn't just you, but in the middle of all of this, you decide I'm going to make a video of it. If I'm at the airport, I'm stressed immediately, and then my flight gets canceled. Now I'm at DEFCON 5 stressed, and I'm not thinking about that. In the middle of all this, you just start interviewing people, though.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly how it went. I mean, I wasn't I'm the type of person that sort of stuff doesn't really stress me out. I'm well, it'll get taken care of one way or another, and it got taken care of. So I was I always am looking for new ways to make content, and whenever that was happening, I was just well, I mean, let's see if everybody could join in, and it helped break the ice. So yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so this is how I know we're different, Elena, because I would be documenting it only so they could have proof of the person who murdered me. Because I would be sure that somebody in that van was gonna kill me.
I thought about that.
Explain more. Did you have that thought? Because I feel like I too would be okay, there's definitely a murderer or a creeper on this bus.
I was definitely a little concerned, and then within our first 30 minutes, we had this, the TikTok was up and everyone was calling Johann and Adolf the Russian spies. And that it's the start of a scary movie. And we're on the van and I look out the window, through the windshield, and it's such thick fog. You can barely see in front of you. So I'm oh yeah, this is where it all goes left.
That's how it ends right there.
Yeah. But everyone they were great. But yeah, it crossed my mind. I'm human.
Okay. So there are 12 of you in this 15 passenger bus, right? Or
13,
van.
including me.
Yeah, 13 on a 15 passenger van.
Yeah.
Who decides, okay, we have to because just going with a couple of people, you decide, okay, I'm going to stop here at some, or we're going to eat now. Were there any like, rules that were put into place before you guys went on, like, okay, we're not stopping at every exit, we're only going to stop once for the bathroom? What happened?
I mean, there were no rules when we first got on. Like, we didn't even have time to even think about doing something like that. But no, I mean, I feel like when you're on a van with strangers, like, everyone was just considerate of each other. But I will say Michelle, aka Farm Babe, did have to go to the bathroom a little more times than my mother would have liked. And she definitely got snapped out at one point.
I knew it.
But
Okay.
no, I mean, there weren't any rules really.
I mean, Ginger, they're all adults. Like, nobody's there. Like, did everybody go potty before
No,
we
but then
left?
somebody's going to have a big gulp, and then by the next exit, they realize that was a bad decision, and so
And
now
that's how it
everyone
went.
has to stop again. Exactly. So there was the person who needed to go potty a little bit more. Was there a talker, someone who you just wanted to stop talking?
Okay, I'm so very much appreciative of everyone who I was in that van with. They made the experience great.
Come on now.
Miss Amy, the Marine Corps, her voice carries like no other. And our video was going viral like in real time. And so like we're sitting in the van and like every 30 seconds she's like, we're at this many views, we're at this many views. And she's reading the comments out loud. And like I was like, I'm so happy that I can give you guys this experience because it is fun. But I was like, you really like this one. You really like it.
That is so funny. So,
But
okay,
she's
tell
great.
me.
She's great.
She
That's
sounds
awesome.
wonderful. She sounds loud, but wonderful. So, when you're in the bus and you're traveling, okay,
Mhm.
tell me there's something a little more romantic and movie-ish about it than just everybody sits on their phones. Like, are you guys talking? Are you singing? Give me a feel for the whole vibe of this random stranger bus trip.
Uncomfy and very noisy. Primarily because of the TikTok. Like when I say like the comments were being read out loud the entire van ride, like it was like I'm listening to stats running. Like that's how like often they were talking about this. And then like yeah, everyone did get to know each other a little bit. Like I sit next to Hugh. We chatted back and forth a lot about like what I do and like just life in general, joking back and forth because we're the same age. And then like my mom talked to Johan and Adolf a lot about like their upbringing and like their story and stuff. But yeah, I mean, there was definitely a lot of chatter. We didn't really listen to music. We didn't really sing.
Wow.
Just we
Did
talked
you
a
played
lot.
no games? Oh, see, Matt's hoping for some kind of rom-com to come out of
Yeah,
this.
that's what I was thinking. She's
Man.
like, Hugh was right next to me and he was my age. Is Hugh like, is this a possibility going down the road? Like, what are we thinking with Hugh?
It's definitely a bud of mine. I'll leave that part to Hollywood if they want to pick it up and make it a rom-com, but not on our end.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
Just
I feel
checking.
like, it happened a little while ago and people are still talking about it because that was Thanksgiving. So Christmas is coming up. Are you traveling again? Are you flying Frontier, which I would say no.
Okay.
I mean, how are you getting there?
We're actually just staying around like local, but in terms of Frontier, I say like, oh, I would never fly with them again. I'm 23 years old. They have cheap flights. I like to go places. So if I can, and I book my flights the day before most times.
Oh,
So
wow.
I might try it maybe one more time.
I have
Probably not,
said, let me tell you, as someone who's much older than you, I have said many times, I'm never going to fly Frontier. I am never going to fly Spirit again. And when
what
it's like
happened?
$400 versus $60,
I'm
guess
taking
what
it.
I'm
Yeah.
flying?
I can pack well in a carry-on. I'm
Right.
gone.
Smash it all into a backpack,
Yeah.
wear like
Yep.
4 outfits so you don't
As
have
long
to
as
like
they're not asking you
check
to
it.
fly the plane, you're good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
yeah. Put me in one of those little flying lawn chairs. I'll do it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Who
Okay,
cares?
so what is the biggest lesson you think you learned from this? Because I thought it was so nice that these strangers could get along, right? And it's like you all guys were like a microcosm of the universe to me. And I'm like, why can't we do
Yeah.
that in real life?
Yeah, I actually like shared that same sentiment in an interview that I did yesterday with NBC. Like, I just feel like our TikTok video was just like the smallest like representation of like what I would hope that the average American would kind of like idealize America to be. Like, you can see all of our differences like on my TikTok video, and we just came together and it worked. We had a common goal and it worked. But I would say like my biggest takeaway from this is like something that I always like to keep with me anyways. Like, you can't really control what happens to you. Just kind of try to make the best out of it and we did that like to get home, and it ended up being something like way bigger than we could have ever expected.
And it really resonated with people. You know, you put it on
Mhm.
TikTok. So you're pretty big on TikTok. Is this your biggest TikTok ever? How many views are we at? Give me the stats.
It's not my biggest ever. This is just the biggest like newsworthy
Matt.
video. Well, I took the other one down. That got me the biggest views. But
Oh, well, that sounds like a
it's-
whole totally
That's a
different
good
story
tease.
altogether. Oh, she's blushing.
It was definitely a wild story. But that video is at nearly 4 million views. So it's my biggest in a while. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that's fantastic.
That is pretty big.
Sometimes social media can just it just gets on your nerve and it's terrible and you read the comments. But this was one of those where you felt hopeful after reading it and just you felt good about it and everyone's safe and some of you guys are still keeping in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's talks of us maybe even having to fly out to LA tomorrow morning. It's not confirmed yet. So
What?
we've definitely been keeping in touch. Q was just over here with my family last night. We had an interview to do together yesterday. We've done so many interviews together, like we can't help but keep in touch. So like even if we didn't want to, but like at the same time, we have fun. Like when we chat, like we're always laughing and goofing off in our group chat together.
Yeah, why are you guys flying it to LA?
There's talks of us going on a talk show, but it's not confirmed yet. And they've been kind of working it up, but we'd have to go out there tomorrow and then film on Thursday. But
Can we have the initials of the talk show host?
What are you trying to do here? She can't talk
Get a
about it
story.
yet. She's
We're not gonna
mouthing.
podcast it
Hold on.
now.
That's it.
it's a girl, and her last name starts with an H. That's all I'm gonna say.
Jennifer Hudson.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, moving along. And before we like help out somebody else's show, Ginger, how about we talk about? Here's what I'm curious of. So you did this TikTok. You put all these new people who aren't used to TikTok in this video, and so as somebody who as well is on TikTok, when things start to blow up and get millions of views, it takes such a turn in the fact that people start being negative. People find a reason to hate on everybody else.
Yeah.
Did you worry at one point that like you were going to put all these people who weren't used to all this attention in a place where like you've said you had to delete videos before because people are so crazy and nasty? I would imagine
People are nuts.
People are nuts. Absolutely.
Mhm.
That is what I find when anything I have posted that has gone viral. I almost regret it because I'm like, man, why did I do this to myself? Because it just puts you in this light. Were you worried about these strangers who are about to find something out about going viral that a lot of people don't know?
I didn't think it was going to go viral when I posted it. But then I saw like people kind of like poking fun at our little Mexican, German, Russian spies. And that like hurt my heart for them because I was like, they're such sweet people. But I will say like, no one like this is like the one thing that I've been a part of where I feel like no one has found anything negative about it. Like at all. I haven't seen any negative comments. Like,
that's good.
I think that's why people like this story so much. Like, it's just been such positivity all around, and like that's something you don't really see anymore, especially on social media.
You really would have to dig to find something very negative in this story. It reminded me of years ago there, and you might remember this. There was this young guy who texted the wrong number and it ended up being like this grandma for Thanksgiving, and she's like, I'm on my way, and it's like 7 years later they still have Thanksgiving together. And people, they don't look alike, they have nothing in common except that they're humans and they're good people. And I think that your story resonates with that. You guys should do, are you good at escape room? Because it seems like
I've actually never done one.
I've
never done one.
You need
I'm gonna have to do that.
Ginger, you're so random today. That's why I love having you around.
Escape rooms.
I'm here for it.
Work with people you don't know sometimes. Matt's a hater. Okay. He is jealous because my TikToks have ones and ones of views. I don't even know.
I'm so jealous. But no,
we can collab on something.
I think they were in an escape room, is what that was. They were trapped in a van together.
In an airport. And escaped.
Oh,
yeah, they did escape, and it worked out. So obviously it has been chaotic. You said you weren't expecting this to even go viral. What has been the part of it that has maybe surprised you the most in the aftermath of the virality of this?
Production companies reaching out to potentially pick it up as like a TV show or a movie. Like that's been wild. I've had like different talent scouts reaching out to me, and that's been just absolutely
Mhm.
crazy. So, I mean, for like a little small town influencer girl, like it's been pretty cool.
Yeah,
Want to
but
be
you're savvy
influencer.
too. You're savvy too. So just be careful with who reaches out to you and what. And I'm not surprised they're reaching out to you guys because if you've seen anything on TV and any of the streaming services, they're all reboots, a reimagining
Yeah,
of something that they've seen before. And this we haven't seen before.
yeah. It kind of like resembles a scene in Home Alone. But I mean,
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. That scene
yeah,
where they all try to get back and they're like, oh yeah, let's drive back together in the van.
in a polka van.
And the Poke, yes, the
So
Poke.
good.
Oh my gosh, that is
That's
such a
good.
Christmas movie to
Oh
me.
my gosh.
That's so good. So, all right, Elena. So overall, very positive experience, and you think like in the end, this could be very good for. Is your main gig influencer? Are you like full-time TikTok or
Well,
what?
I guess I kind of I'm about to start being because of some other things that have deals that are going on.
Mhm.
But I own a media company, and like I primarily like wanted to work behind the scenes and promoting like rap artists. I never
Wah,
really wanted to
wah.
be like the face of something, but I guess
Looks like
I'm looking
now,
at your face
paths
right now.
change.
yeah, it's not really I guess in my plan. I don't know.
Yeah, that's funny. It's like you make plans and God laughs, right? So here
Literally
you are in front of the camera.
cackling.
Yeah, cackling. It's meant to be. It's meant to
Yeah.
be. There are no coincidences.
Elena, what were
Yeah.
you in Orlando for, by the way?
I went out there to support my cousin. He was like doing something with like custody stuff, and we just kind of turned it into like a family trip.
Oh,
I
little
booked my
family
flight
trip.
the day before. I wasn't even supposed to go.
Wow.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
how
My
many
mom was already
followers?
out there.
How many followers have you gained since this all was posted?
A little over 20,000.
Sweet.
Yep.
That's a nice chunk. That is a nice chunk. What would you say to other people who might, sometimes you sit next to someone, even if it's on a plane and you don't even want to make eye contact with them. What did you, especially during this time of year where people they're looking for someone to just acknowledge that they're a person. What would you say to someone who has the opportunity to maybe connect with a random stranger sitting next to them?
I think you should do it. Like people are meant to like interconnect with each other. We're supposed to talk with each other. Like we definitely need companionships, but like, yeah, just do it. It's the holidays. Like, what's it gonna hurt? And like for people who like struggle with trying to talk to someone first, I just feel like a big thing, like compliment them. Like even if it's just like their shoes or outfit, something like who's gonna get mad at a compliment? And if they do get mad, you probably weren't supposed to have a conversation with them anyways. So yeah, just kind of like do something to break the ice. But yeah, get out, talk to people, get out of your phones.
She's only 23, but she's wise. Elena
Yeah.
I hope
Story.
to be.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
we're all hoping to
Yeah.
be. We're all trying. But hey, we think the story is fantastic. We're so glad
Uh,
that you decided to document it so we could all sort of share it. It's almost sad to me that a story like this became so popular because it's the exception and it's not the
Right.
rule. But
People
we're
are
glad
getting
that we get to.
along.
Yeah, look
Yeah.
at this.
Right.
A whole
Yes,
group
I
of
know,
people who
I
aren't
know.
like each other
Good.
probably don't agree on everything, can get together and can just exist,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
what the
Yeah.
whole world
If
is trying.
I ever got stuck in a middle seat, I hope it's next to someone like you, Elena.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think we have to end it on
Ditto.
that sweet sentiment. Elena, thank you so much for talking to us. We appreciate it. And best
Thank
of
you,
luck with your
guys.
career. Excited to see the Netflix
Thanks.
documentary. 13
And then we
we'll
go
go
I
with
hope so.
13 strangers, maybe. Sounds like a
I hope
horror
so.
flick. I don't know.
Yeah, it does. It does. Thank you, Elena. Bye.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right.